All right. Well, news yesterday that the rate of inflation in August had slowed to 7%, offered some good news for Canadians, but there was still some bad news for our weekly budgets.
Yeah, the main driver of inflation continues to be groceries. Food prices have gone up 10.8% in the last year. That is the fastest increase in the average grocery bill since 1981. Extreme weather, higher input costs, and supply chain disruptions are mostly to blame.
And here is a breakdown of the cost increases. Edible fats and oils have jumped almost 28%. Condiments, bakery and cereal products, and preserved vegetables and vegetable preparations round out the top 5 in growth. Fresh vegetables, fish and seafood, dairy and meat saw year-over-year growth of between 5 and 10%.
And joining us now is Sylvain Charlebois, the Professor, Director, Agri-Food Analytics Lab, and former Dean of the Faculty of Management at Dalhousie University. My old job.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's right. Sylvain, thanks for joining us today on the show. Yeah.
Morning, George, Jennifer.
Yeah, it's
Hi.
your job now. Thanks, Sylvain. Let's start here. We talk about supply chain issues. It's a catchphrase now. It's almost a meme. Is this a domestic, not just a foreign issue?
It's a global issue, really. When you look at the G7, Canada is number 3 right now when it comes to the lowest food inflation rate after Japan and France. The UK, the United States, Italy, Germany. Germany is at 16.6%. So we're not doing too badly within the G7, but still for Canadians, it hurts. Every time you go to a grocery store, it hurts even more.
So what I mean by domestic versus foreign, do we have our own internal Canadian supply chain issues, coast to coast to coast?
Not as much as we used to. Things are much more predictable, less costly as well. Energy costs are down. So it's not really that difficult to move products within North America. As you know, both Canada and the American economy are both highly integrated. So things are pretty fluid. Overseas, things are still a bit tricky, but not as bad as they used to. Delays aren't as significant, but over the last 2 years, there's been a lot of waste. And so that's really is catching up to us right now.
And Sylvain, we're seeing all these, sky-high grocery costs. People are complaining that they go in 1 week and the prices jump by $1 or $3 suddenly. Is this all supply chain issues and the global effect of what we're dealing with, or do you think some of it is greedflation?
Oh, that greedflation word again. Let me tell you, I mean, we looked at the evidence, we looked at publicly available data, and there is no evidence of greedflation in food distribution. A lot of people think, well, they've actually registered record profits, but a 4% or like a 2% 3 years ago doesn't amount to the same amount of money today. And that's why people are confusing percentages with amounts of money. But here's the thing, we are concerned about greedflation in other parts of the food economy. And meat is certainly one area. Dairy is another one. We have suspicions in fish and seafood as well, but it's hard to prove. In the United States, the White House is very, very tough on meat packers, and GBS just had to pay a fine of $27 million yesterday due to inflated pork prices. So we're not seeing that in Canada, unfortunately.
So these are issues that are, created by human beings for the most part. What about weather? Dry summer didn't help crop production in most parts of the country, Sylvain. What about the status of the food that feeds the food that we eat?
So yeah, the good news, George, this year is that farmers in Canada will do very well. They actually were able to lock in a decent price earlier in the spring. Harvest is going very well. There's lots of moisture compared to last year. The problem this year, Europe was very, very dry, in Asia as well. And as you know, Ukraine will have a deficit. Its agriculture runs at about 50%, and Ukraine typically feeds 400 million people around the world every year. So that's down half. So we're short this year, unfortunately, which is why commodity prices are higher.
And Sylvain, really quickly, yes or no answer from you. Is there an end in sight? Is there a silver lining anytime soon?
Can I say maybe?
Okay,
Is maybe
we'll take
good?
that.
That's fair.
We'll take the maybe.
Huh? Okay. Yeah, just
Maybe's
maybe.
better than no. Okay.
By the holidays, I think we're going to get a break.
Okay,
Here you go.
All right.
that sounds good. Sylvain Charlebois, Professor, Director of Agri-Food Analytics Lab, and former Dean of the Faculty of Management at Dalhousie University. Always appreciate your time, Sylvain. Take care.
Take care.